On the night of June 6, 1992, in the quiet town of Springfield, Missouri, three women vanished without a trace. Friends Stacy McCall and Suzie Streeter, both 19, had just graduated from high school and planned to spend the night at Suzie's home. Suzie's 47-year-old mother, Sherrill Levitt, was also there. By morning, all three were gone. No signs of forced entry, no struggle. Only a broken porch light globe and an unlocked front door. The coffee pot was full, the TV was on, and the women's purses, money, and personal items were inside. Their disappearance became one of the most baffling cases in American true crime history. Initially, there was no panic. Friends who arrived that morning to pick up Stacy and Suzie simply assumed they had gone out early. But as hours passed, concern grew. When police finally arrived to investigate, the scene was already heavily compromised. Friends and family had unknowingly cleaned parts of the house, possibly destroying crucial evidence. Still, investigators were puzzled by the scene's eerie normalcy. The beds were made, the home smelled of fresh Windex, and a dog named Cinnamon, Suzie's pet, roamed the house unbothered. Suspicion quickly turned to possible foul play. One early theory was that the women were abducted during a home invasion. However, there was no sign of a struggle. Another theory suggested that someone they knew had lured them out of the house, perhaps under false pretenses. A particularly chilling possibility was that the perpetrator had been waiting inside, yet no motive ever became clear. Robbery was ruled out, and there were no ransom demands. All three women had vanished without using their bank accounts, social security numbers, or credit cards again. The case captivated Springfield and soon the national media. Billboards displaying the three women's faces dotted Missouri highways, and the story was featured on television shows like Unsolved Mysteries and America's Most Wanted. Still, every lead ended in frustration. Tips flooded in, but none bore fruit. Several suspects were considered over the years, including a known criminal named Robert Craig Cox, but no confession, evidence, or breakthrough ever emerged. Cox claimed he knew the women were dead and that their bodies would never be found, but refused to say more. An odd clue came from a message left on the home answering machine, deleted before police could hear it. A friend claimed it sounded strange and disturbing. Investigators were never able to recover the recording. Another unsettling development occurred years later when a tipster suggested the women had been buried under a parking garage. Ground-penetrating radar showed anomalies consistent with possible graves. But the cost and risk of excavation kept authorities from digging. To this day, the area has not been excavated. The families of Stacy, Suzie, and Sherrill have endured decades of torment. Sherrill was a devoted single mother with no known enemies. Suzie and Stacy were typical, joyful teenagers with dreams for the future. Their absence left a gaping wound in the community. Over time, the case grew colder. The original detectives retired, and fresh eyes reviewed the files. But no theory fully explained how three people could vanish from a suburban home without a trace. In recent years, interest in the case has resurfaced due to true crime podcasts and online communities devoted to solving cold cases. Amateur sleuths have pored over every known detail, debating timelines, suspects, and forensic possibilities. Despite evolving technology and renewed attention, the core mystery remains unchanged. How did three women disappear so completely from a safe residential neighborhood? The house they vanished from still stands, a symbol of loss and unanswered questions. The Springfield Three remain missing. No remains have ever been recovered. No one has ever been charged. The case is classified as an open investigation. For those who knew them, time has not brought peace. The absence of closure haunts their friends, family, and a city still searching for answers after more than 3 decades of silence. The question lingers: who took the Springfield Three and why?